With PlayStation announcing the new PS5 Pro, I thought we'd do a little comparison to compare the price point of the PS5 Pro, which is $700, plus if you want to actually get the disc reader on top of it, $80 or $780, to a $800 to a $700 PC build. And what could you actually build for the same price as the PS5 Pro, and how much more performance can you actually get from it? So this is gonna be interesting results, especially since the fact that the PS5 Pro supposedly runs off a 77 XT, comparable for actually specs. So our target for this build is to build something around that price point that can outperform that GPU. So we're gonna be using PC Part Picker to sort out our parts for this build. Now we are going to go for an $800 build because with the disc reader it'd be like $780, plus the stand would probably be another like 80 or something like that. I'm not entirely sure though, because there isn't really a good idea on what that's going to be, but we'll probably either go Intel or AM4. I would like to go AM5, but since it's a newer platform, there's not as many parts on the market, meaning that the price for things are much higher than AM4, because AM4 there's so much stuff on the market already, which has diluted their price. So we could go AM4, but Intel has been rocking it when during AM4 release. So we're gonna of course go i5, because a lot of the i5s from Intel have been very good, especially 12th gen. So we're gonna go with the i5 12600KF, since this is the lowest price point CPU. This has got 10 cores and then 20 threads, and I'm pretty sure it's 5 and 5, meaning 5 efficiency and 5 performance, but I could be wrong on that though. Oh no, so it's 6 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores. Okay, I thought it was 5 and 5. I'm wrong. Either way though, this is the CPU we're gonna do, because this is gonna be good for our build. We'll get way more performance than a PS5, because keep in mind the original PS5 had an 8-core CPU in it, so this will outperform it since it has additional 2 cores plus an additional, was it like 4 threads, if I did my math right. Then we can go for a cooler. Now we don't really have to go anything too crazy. I would just go with a super simple air cooler, which we can go with this thermal Peerless one. But if you want to go liquid, you could go liquid, but we're not gonna do that for the time being. Now for memory, we are gonna go with 16 gigabytes of RAM, especially on DDR4. It is so cheap to buy DDR4 RAM, it's actually like ridiculous. So you can see right here, a 16 gigabyte kit for 32 megahertz only costs $42. Now we could go 36 megahertz, but the problem with it is it's not like we're on AMD. AMD CPUs take advantage of high frequency memory. Intel CPUs don't really need that, so we're just gonna go 36 megahertz, and so this will only cost us $42, which is super nice. Now the other thing is we will need to figure out our case and power supply. Now we're just gonna go with a super simple 700 watt power supply for $55. Then we're gonna go for our case, which we're gonna go Monotech, because they have a really great price to performance case. So we're gonna go the 903 Max. This is fine, and then we can also upgrade in it if we want to. Got this cough left over. It's super annoying, especially when I get sick. I always have a cough left over, just something weird I've been having. And then for storage, we don't really need to get too much storage, because you can literally just buy a 1 terabyte NVMe drive. So we're gonna get this one from Crucial for $67, and then we can always buy a hard drive later for 4 terabytes for like $80, and then you'll have like 5 terabytes of storage. With that though, just in itself, we've spent over $413 on our part list. Now we could mess around with this and fine wine it even more if we really want to, but I'm not really too worried about that. So what we need to do now is find our GPU. So the big thing with the GPUs, as we said earlier, it's equivalent to the 77 XT, but supposedly their ray tracing is supposed to be better on it. So I'm not entirely sure if it's gonna be a new AMD GPU altogether or what's gonna happen with that though. So what we're gonna do is we have a few different options. We can either go with a 77 XT, which of course like $400, and if we were to click on this GPU, we would be in our price range of $800. Now we spent a little bit over, but I still count it as long as it's not over $25. So we could go with this, which is not bad, or we have a few different other options. So we could go with a 3080 or 3090. Now you might be wondering, how the heck do we get a 3080 3090? Well, it's actually a lot easier than you might think. All we have to do is go to eBay. So if you look up 3080 on Facebook Marketplace or just on eBay, they're around $350 to $400 if you were to actually buy one straight up, which is really nice. Now keep in mind though, this GPU compared to the the 77 XT has instead of 12 gigs of VRAM, it has 10 gigs of VRAM. Plus, on top of that too, it has all the DLSS, ray tracing, all that jazz, and it's gonna be very, very powerful for a long period of time. But it will be a used GPU, which is not the worst in the world. If we were to go on Facebook Marketplace, and if you're on Facebook Marketplace, you can look in your area, look for good deals. I would recommend looking for 3090s because they're really cheap right now. You can find them for the same price you would find on Facebook Marketplace. So you can see here, there's some guy selling a 3090 for $250. We have another guy selling one for $400. And you can see the price for the 4090 right now is very, very low. And just hypothetical, you got yourselves a 3090 from actually the third-hand marketplace, which that's how my brother got his 3090. He just got a 3090 off the third-hand marketplace, and it's the best upgrade he's ever gotten, especially for him to do his encoding. Now, I did almost forget about the motherboard, so we did have to add that to our part list. So that would bring our total to $918 with the 3090. Now, of course, if you don't want to go with the 3090, you could actually go with the, what is it called? 3080 for, of course, what was it, like $350 to like $324 or $300. So we'll just say 3080 for the time being instead, because why not? And we'll set the price of this for $300 as the probably in between price we can get, which is still $800. So that is pretty insane. We're able to build a really nice PC for this price point. And even if we do get like a 3080 for like $350, that's still like $850, which is not bad. I really wish I knew what the stand price was, but if I had to make this guess, it's probably only be like $20 to $50. I'm not too entirely sure though. But with that though, we got ourselves a nice $800 PC build with a 3080, 10 core CPU, 20 threads. Like, this thing is an absolute menace, and my cat's being an absolute menace too. I'm not really entirely sure what he's doing tonight. But this PC build can pretty much crush the PS5 Pro. You could go theoretically with a lower end GPU to save yourself some money. So just in case, for example here, let's just say you don't want to go with a used 3080. You could just go with a 3060 for 16 gig, oh not 16 gig, the 12 gig model, which will actually crush for streaming and also just for 1080p gaming. So that'll have a lot of flexibility down the line. Or you can go with the 77XT if you want an AMD GPU that represents like the PS5 Pro. Like, you have a lot of options with this price point. You really just have to decide which GPU you want to go with and then go from there. But hey, let me know what you guys think about this PC part list in the comments down below. If you had the option to build this PC or buy PS5 Pro, which one would you take? Let me know. I'll be curious to see what you guys say. But if you enjoyed my video here today, make sure to smash the like button, get subscribed to some future tech content, because later here we got a not PS5, we got a AM5 build coming out, so you don't want to miss on that. You know what to do. Until then, Tech Grant out.